Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? We greatly appreciate it. Come on in, make yourself at home. You know the routine. This week takes me to Cash America. Actually found some really cool DVDs. Found a complete series for I think 50 cents, 2 seasons all together. Have my beautiful Criterion collection box set. Beautiful, can't wait to show you that. A Kino Lorber cult classic by 3D pick. A Warner Archive classic pick, so I have some bangers in this one. But before I get into what I picked up at the Pawnshop, not only do I collect movies, yes, I'm one of these weird, wild individuals. I actually watch them. And on a weekly basis, I like to share some of the things I've watched, either physical media, live in the theater with my family, or actually streaming on the Fire Stick. And the first one is some physical media that I actually picked up at Cash America. This is a 2014 adventure comedy drama, Chef. This was directed and written by Jon Favreau, produced by Molly Allen. This stars Jon Favreau, John Leguizamo, Bobby Cannavale, Emma J. Anthony, Scarlett Johansson. The plot behind this: Chef Carl Casper, after a series of harrowing events, finds himself in Miami. He teams up with his ex-wife, his friend, and his son to launch a food truck, taking him to the road. Chef Carl goes back to his roots to reignite his passion for the kitchen and zest for life and love. And I really like this picture. I liked it more than I actually thought I would. I like it because I like food shows. It's something I've gotten into over the past 10, 50 years, watching Hell's Kitchen, things of that nature. It's a underdog story with great food, and it's also a story where the father kind of reunites with his son and kind of strengthens the bond with his son, which has kind of been broken over the years. And don't want to give too much of the plot away though, but really heartwarming, feel-good underdog story. So if you like that, especially with some great food in there also, definitely check out Chef. My next movie I talked about I think a couple of videos ago. This is the 1966 American Western Duel at Diablo. This was directed and produced by Ralph Nelson, written by Marvin H. Albert. This stars James Garner, Sidney Poitier, Bill Travers, Bibi Anderson, and Dennis Weaver. The plot behind this: in Apache territory, a supply army column heads for the next fort. An ex-scout searches for the killer of his Indian wife, and a housewife abandoned her husband. And I didn't really used to care for Westerns before Tombstone came along, and I'm starting to get more into them. This is a really great Western. One, because I love the actors: Sidney Poitier, of course, James Gardner from the Rockford Files, Dennis Weaver from the television show McCloud, those old 70s detective shows. What I loved about it most, as it wasn't the Native Americans bad, settlers good, it gave a more nuanced story of the relationship between the Apache and the Indians. And it was just a really fun watch, a lot of action, and just a really good story. So if you like Westerns, you like those actors, even if you don't know these actors, definitely check out Duel at Diablo. My next film I actually watched streaming. This is a 2025 American dark fantasy, Death of a Unicorn. This was directed and written by Alex Sharfman, produced by Drew Haupt. This stars Paul Rudd, Jenny Ortega, Will Poulter, Tia Leone, Richard E. Grant. The plot behind this: Elliot Kittinger and his teenage daughter Ridley are traveling in the Canadian Rockies for a weekend at the estate of Elliot's boss, Odell Leopold, and his family, his wife Belinda and son Shepard. This kind of reminds me of a Brothers Grimm story, where you have the fantasy aspect of the unicorn, and I'm trying to be a little bit vague because I don't want to give too much of the plot away though, but it involved the fantasy of the unicorn on top of the greed and the deception of man. And it kind of goes into a little bit of a social commentary of just the greed of what this unicorn could actually do for them, though. But very fun. I'm a Jenna Ortega fan since Wednesday, and also with her in Scream, though. So she's fun in her role. Paul Rudd plays the awkward father trying to reach his daughter, trying to build that bond with his daughter. So fun film, fun dark comedy. Love the fantasy. Definitely check out Death of a Unicorn. My last one, another one I was really surprised I liked this much. I watched streaming. I believe it was on HBO Max. This is a 2024 American anthology action comedy film, Freaky Tales. This was directed and written by Anna Boden, also produced by Anna Boden. This stars Pedro Pascal, Ben Mendelsohn, Jay Ellis, Normani, Dominic Thorne, and Jack Champion. The plot behind this, the film depicts 4 interconnected stories taking place at real locations and during real historical events in 1987 Oakland, California. And just as I just mentioned, it mixes real events with this kind of supernatural fantasy, especially with the last story in there. What I like most about this, which they didn't speak directly though, but they did a nice way of leaving little kind of hints relating the title of the movie Freaky Tales to the actual rap artist Too Short. Too Short, I think his second album was called Freaky Tales. And each story is a different chapter. And I think several of the chapters are actually songs on his album. And there's actually one story that actually deals directly with Too Short and one of his songs where he invites these young female rappers to pretty much battle him. If you know anything about Too Short, by today's standards, he would be called a tremendous sexist. His songs are very sexist, very sexual. They talk about his sexual adventures or exploits with women. And it made me think of a CD I bought back in the day. For all you Gen Xers or people who might know, back in the day, you pay like 1 penny for like 12 CDs, but then you have to buy CDs over a period of time. And I actually bought a Too Short CD from BMG, not knowing that this was not the parental advisory one. This was the censored one. And I believe the song was Cuss Words. And if you're familiar with songs that you hear them on the radio when they beep out the curse words, no joke. In the song Cuss Words, there's a section where it's just like beep. I'm like, it just ruined the whole CD though. But fun movie, very original, which I love finding, especially in 2025. Original movies, great soundtrack, and just it brought back that 1980s nostalgia feel, especially with that Oakland hip hop aspect or lean toward it. So that's what I watch for the week. Now, without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink, have a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. We're back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. Have my Pawnshop pickups here. Have a classic Warner Archive Collection Blu-ray, a Kino Lorber cult classic, a 3D pick, even have a Criterion Collection box set. So I have some bangers in here. So let me get these scanned in and we'll jump right into it. Hold on. All right, we're going to jump into what I picked up at the pawn shop. Going to kick it off with a Guy Crawford film, Flesh, Texas, population 666. What interested me in this is Joe Estevez. Joe Estevez, I believe, is a brother of Martin Sheen, the uncle of Emilio and Martin Sheen. What's the other one? Charlie Sheen. Brain fart though. Looks interesting. Looks B-movie level. Maybe C level. It's a Well Go USA release. Flesh, Texas. Next, I can't remember if I've seen this before. It looks familiar. I'm a big Christopher Walken fan. Love Natalie Wood when she was alive also, even though that was years ago. Brainstorm, sci-fi. They do have a Blu-ray version of this, so I want to check out the DVD first. If I like that, I will pick up the Blu-ray. And this is a MGM release. Take a look at this. Here, it has a booklet to it. Oh, very cool. Let's give a little breakdown of the movie. Brainstorm. If you've seen these, all these so far are blind buys. So if you've seen any of these, let me know how good or how bad they are. Brainstorm. Next, we have Evil Remains. Don't know any of these people. Danielle Gillis, Ashley Scott, even that sounds familiar. Estella Warren. Evil Remains. And this is a Screen Media release. Little section card here, the chapter card. This is Screen Media again. Evil Remains. Next, can't remember if I've seen this or not. If I have, it's been years ago. Cheech and Chong's Nice Dream. I don't believe this has a Blu-ray release. This is a Columbia Pictures, and it's still sealed. Let me get my Wesley Snipes. I can open this up. Hold on. Get my Wesley Snipes here, aka the Real Blade. My Billy Bob Thornton Sling Blade here. Open you up. Nice Dreams, Cheech and Chong's Legendary Potheads. Maybe I should say cannabis consumers now, since it's legal in certain states. Nice Dreams by the Cannabis Consumer Legends, Cheech and Chong. Columbia Pictures. Next, I saw this first, and I said, if I'm not going to pick up anything, I probably won't pick this up. But I picked up a couple of DVDs, so I'm saying, well, before I get to that one. Pooh's Heffalump movie. And I don't know if there's a Blu-ray version of this or not. And I love my Disney. Love Winnie the Pooh. I grew up reading A.A. Is it Miles? Pooh. DVD was a little rough on the back, though, but I put it in. It did play. I don't know if it plays continuously, though, but for the price, it's worth the risk. Disney's Pooh's Heffalump movie. Now, the one I almost walked by, this is actually a complete series, Witchblade. I remember this when this was on television, but I just never watched it. I've heard it's not too bad. It actually lasted a few seasons, I believe, at least maybe 1 or 2 seasons. This is disc 1. Let's take a look here. And again, if you've seen Witchblade, let me know if it's a decent watch here. So it looks like it aired in 2000, and looks like the last episode was 2002, so maybe it lasted a season. But this is disc 1, disc 2. discs around here. Disc 3, disc 4, disc 5. He looks familiar. Disc 6 and disc 7. And this is the other part of the artwork on the back. So the discs seem to be in good shape. Packaging and even the slipcover. So which blade? And did I ball on a budget on this one? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DVDs and 1 complete series on DVD. And for this, I paid a whopping $3.23 with tax and all that. So you can't really beat that. You can. That's the cost of like one movie at Goodwill now since they've raised their prices. Let's get into some Blu-rays now here. Let's see. My Kino Lorber pick for the week. H.G. Wells' Food of the Gods. Really cool B sci-fi movie. I remember growing up watching these movies like on Saturday afternoon on television before cable was a thing. So, and there's a special place in my heart for these B movies. To me, they're done very well for the time. Special effects don't really hold up as well though, but they're just really fun movies to watch. Food of the Gods. And Kino Lorber is, for me, is killing it with the titles, especially titles from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s or so. Kino Lorber, keep doing your thing. Nice slip cover here. Food of the Gods. Yeah, Kino Lorber is officially my favorite boutique label. They're still considered a boutique label. Next, I have my 3D pick for the week. This is French, but they also have an English version. Freddy Tete de Crapaud. I don't speak French, so I'm sure I just murdered that. And I have no idea who the distributing company is for this. Tous Public, maybe. But check it out. 3D is legit. Nice 3D, nice depth. I haven't watched all the way through, so I don't know if they have any pop-outs or not, though. But Freddy Tete de Crapaud. If anyone knows what that means, write down in the comments what that translates to in English. Next, my classic pick for the week. We have, and I just watched it, I think for the first time last year, maybe the year before last. Great action, black exploitation film. Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, Jim Kelly, 3 The Hard Way. And if you're not familiar with the black exploitation period or these 3 actors back in the 60s and 70s, these guys were the shit. Best way I can equate them to is maybe Eddie Murphy, Wesley Snipes, and maybe The Rock as far as popularity. They weren't on the level of a Denzel Washington, but they had the appeal of action heroes back in the day. 3 The Hard Way. Real fun film. And lastly, I have a Criterion collection. This is the Bruce Lee Greatest Hits. I actually won this on an eBay auction. I've been looking at this for a while. Essentially, I got it for The Big Boss and I think Fist of Fury. I have Enter the Dragon, I think Way of the Dragon. No, I have Way of the Dragon, I think Game of Death on a Shout Factory release, I believe. I'm just going off the top of the dome here, though. But what's really cool in the supplements, they actually have a complete movie, a different version of Enter the Dragon. So really cool pickup here. And with the supplements, of course, you have the trailers. I checked out a couple of the trailers. Didn't check out the interviews, though. The excellent job in covering these movies, each one, and all the little intricacies that went into each individual movie, though. So great set. Happy to have it. Not big into double dipping, but when I get this much extra, it's definitely worth it. And the price I paid is a lot cheaper than it sells for Amazon, so I was able fortunate enough to beat out the other bidders for this, though. I think I paid just under $50, probably closer to 40 on this. And again, just great extras here. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, one of my favorite basketball players from the Lakers in Game of Death. You got Jim Kelly there, of course. Very cool stuff, very good. This is stuff that I kind of geek out on. And that's the beautiful thing about physical media. Digital media is cool, it's handy, but it's not tangible. It can go away at any time. And these things you can actually hold on to when you're looking for movies to watch. These can kind of influence which movies you're gonna watch first. Just these little extra things here. Bruce Lee, the Criterion Collection, and these are my pickups for the week. If you're familiar with the channel, this is where I separate the art from the plastic and the disc, just so I can actually make room to house all these movies. Some of these will actually make the shelf, so let me get these situated and I'll get you good people on your way. Hold on. I have everything scanned into my CLZ Movies app. Season Carmen Jones, Elves and Lost Boys, Z's and Zookeepers. Let's knock this out. Everything laid out, ready to be put back in its proper place. As usual, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, leaving comments. If you made it this far in the video, smash the like, give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you check out my Saturday collection videos every Saturday, same place, same time. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces.